Hello, yogis. Welcome to our Flow to Restore class. I'm Em from Little Glimmer, and this is Brookie. She might snore. I'm hoping she's not going to make too much noise. Before we begin and sort of settle in, let's just think about what we'll need for today's practice. Optional is to have either 2 cork balls or tennis balls will do, cricket balls, whatever you have around the house. That's just optional. Don't worry too much about that. An eye pillow might be nice, a blanket or two, and some cushions, maybe from the couch. Later on, I'm going to be stripping the couch here and taking one of the large pillows for our restorative postures, and that's going to be a replacement for what we use as a bolster in class. Don't stress too much about what you need to have on hand. Pillows from the bed will also do. If you need to, just pause the video and come back. Welcome back. So, how are you feeling? Perhaps psychologically we're feeling we're limping towards the finish line. Maybe our diaries are starting to pack up with more Christmas parties and family events. And I've always admired people who can just say no. They don't pile on a million excuses. They just politely say no to events. And that reminds me of Brahmacharya in yoga. This is thought of as the right use of energy. It's thinking about what drains your energy and trying to restrict yourself from that. So, we've all had ourselves just fall into the vortex of social media or Black Friday shopping. Could be that we're saying yes to too many social events. Whatever it is, it's about saying no to certain things that you know that are really not, you're not going to feel great afterwards. So let's start the process of restoring our energy in our practice today. You might like to take your balls, tennis balls, cork balls, before you come to lay down. And then you have a couple of choices once you're down here. You might choose to bend your knees up with your feet flat on the ground and bring 2 balls just around the lower back. Please be really careful here, just making sure there's no pain. Another option is to bring the balls just around the upper part of your back here, either side of your shoulder blades. You'll sort of intuitively know where you want to place it. Last option I'm going to provide would be to roll the balls around the sides of your neck. Just see if you can stay in that spot. Maybe you're rolling around a little bit on the balls and then just finding a spot that you want to stay into. You'll notice if you've got the balls in specific spots here that you'll start to really breathe in and constrict the breath, maybe bringing the hands around your heart space or your ribs. And just seeing if we can breathe into this, seeing if we can release tension around our face, our eyebrows, our mouth. Noticing if the breath is fast or slow, is it jagged or soft? Just being curious about your breath without making any judgments. And then slowly seeing if we can manipulate the breath here. Perhaps you can encourage the breath to be slower and even and smooth. A slow inhale, really filling up the lungs. And a slow, long exhale, releasing. Of course, if you have the balls in a particular position and you want to move, please do. Wherever you are, we'll stay here for 3 more breaths, just really concentrating on arriving here. Equal breath count in and an equal breath count out. we'll bring our feet together and we'll bring our hands overhead here. Stay here for a nice stretch and flex your toes, stretch your fingertips to the other side of the room. And then we'll take Bananasana to our right. So we'll lift our tailbone up, bottom up to the right side of the mat, and then move or shuffle your feet over to the right corner. They might be off the mat, right, off the right corner of the mat here. Lift your shoulders slightly and your head up just to the right, and then move your arms over to the right corner as well. You might be putting your left foot over your right here, and you might be gently clasping your hand just at the corner here. You'll feel a stretch down the left side of your body. See if you can feel both backs of your hips touching the ground and shoulders grounded into the mat. See if you feel as though you're really clenching here, and can you just let go for the last breath in and out. We'll slowly walk our hands and our feet back to center and have one more little stretch, maybe flexing and pointing your toes. And then let's move over to the left. Lift your bottom up slightly to the left and then just walk your feet over to the left corner. Maybe your right foot's hooking over your left. Lifting our shoulders and heads up and then moving our arms over to the left corner of the mat. Again, just making sure that you have your backs of your hips down on the mat, backs of both shoulders planted and grounded onto it. Relaxing any tension around the forehead and the jaw. And taking one more breath in and out. Let's come back into the center. And then we'll bring our knees in for a little hug. You might like to grab your either elbow here and just hug your knees as much as possible into your chest here. You can start to flatten the back of your neck, which will create a little baby double chin here. Don't worry, no one's looking. And then extending our feet up and our arms up. See if we can point our toes back behind us. Option here to come up for some little touching of the toes and lifting our shoulders off the ground for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, bring our knees in and then take our hands behind our thighs here. We're going to rock and roll up. See how that feels with your spine. Just give it a little go, and if it's not good, then just meet in a tabletop. Rolling yourself back and forth. Having a little bit of a play here. And then let's cross our feet and then come into tabletop. And just checking our alignment here in tabletop, having our hips over our knees and having our shoulders over our wrists. And we're going to take barrel rolls here. So sink your tummy down, chest comes down, and then we'll sway the sides of our body over to the right and then lift up our body and then move into sort of like a cat curl and take that to the left. Moving your chest down and up. You can bend your elbows as much as you like. It's kind of like barrels on the cement trucks, you see, just sort of moving in that circle. It can feel a bit strange. Hopefully it feels like it's releasing. So if you can start to move your neck in any type of position that feels good. Maybe you're bringing your fingertips in to make like we're in a bit of a bulldog stance, and you're really getting down low and coming up high. Just closing your eyes and just making it feel organic, and then take your rolls to the opposite direction. A couple more rotations in this direction, just like that. And then let's all come back into tabletop. And turn yourself towards your right hip. Your gaze is going to come to look at your right hip. We're really cinching here on the right side of the body and stretching the left side. Inhale back into center and take that to the other side. 2 more times, just like this. As you exhale, we're looking over to the right side of our hip, little gaze. Inhale back into center, taking it across. Feeling that cinch of the waist back into center. And then coming back into. Now let's thread the needle, lifting your right hand up, sending it towards the sky, looking up at your hand. And then as you exhale, float that hand down through past your left hand all the way through. We'll land our right shoulder and the right side of our head towards the mat. Inhale, lift yourself up, bringing your hand up to the sky once again. Maybe taking a little wrist roll. And then exhale, float that hand down and through, side of our head and shoulder comes to the ground. Inhale one more time to come up. And then exhale, come down. From here, you might like to take your left hand out, stretch it a little more towards the front of the mat, or take your left hand to the right part of your hip. Maybe tuck your hands under there. Peel this left shoulder open a little more. If you were in a bind, bring that hand back to the mat. The right hand comes up. And we bring that down. Let's go to the left side. Inhale, bring your left hand up. Look up. Exhale, bring that straight through. Inhale, bringing that hand up to the sky. And then exhale, float your left hand through past your wrist. Left side of our head and shoulder now is towards the mat. One more time to come up. Maybe a little wrist roll. And then exhale to float down. And again, we can crawl our right fingers towards the front of the mat, extending that arm. Or maybe we take our right arm around our left hip for a little bind and we peel open our right shoulder. Stay here for a breath in and out. And then slowly we can bring both of our hands back to the mat, coming into tabletop. From here, we'll tuck our toes, lift our knees up, look forward a little while, and let's take a breath here in and out. And then slowly rise our hips to the sky for downward dog. Right leg rises, three-legged dog. And then open up your hips. We're going to bring our knee as high as we can to the ceiling and see if we can stack our hips one over the other. See if we can square off our shoulders at the same time. Maybe you're starting to make circles with your knee. Inhale, bring yourself back into three-legged dog. Lift that heel. The inner seam of your thigh is pulled up. Exhale, bring that foot through. We're coming into a low lunge. Bring your back knee down. Inhaling up for Anjaneyasana. Right hand comes forward here and left hand comes back, and we're at a 45-degree angle with our torso here. Keep your arms like this and just lift your torso up. So our right hand's going to be coming down towards the floor and our left hand's going to be coming up towards the ceiling. And then see how much we can bend just over to our right from here. So your right hand might be stretching towards the mat and the left side of our body is getting a real stretch. From here, we're going to turn our body, keeping our legs where they are, but turn our body to the left and have warrior two arms. So our right arm's forward and our left arm is back. We're looking to see that our knee is over our front heel. Take another breath here and flip your palms. See if we can bring our shoulder blades in a little bit more, clenching them towards our spine. And then look over that fingertip again. As we exhale, bring your left hand down to the mat, and we're turning now to the right side of the room into our easy twist here. Looking up to our top hand. Exhale, bring your hands into a fingertip lunge. We're going to bring our hands to frame the front foot and tucking our toes, lifting that back leg. See if we can bring our chest forward. And then as we exhale, we're coming into a modified pyramid here. So our back heel doesn't need to come down to the ground. Exhale, come forward into your lunge. And then as we inhale, suck everything out and bring yourself into that pyramid shape. One more time to come forward as we exhale, and then inhale to bring ourselves up. We're going to come to standing splits from here, which is a bit of a big move. So let's start to get our weight into our front foot here. Bring your hands a little bit further out into the mat. It's kind of like a triangle shape. Then start to take away the pressure from your left leg. That's going to start to lift up. And any amount, we want to see if we can lift our foot to the sky. Maybe you're taking your hand around your back of your calf. The object is to get our leg that's in the air as high up as possible, at the same time bringing our head towards our calf. Slowly, let's come to a forward fold. Bring that lifted leg to the front of the mat and exhale, forward fold. Really let something go there. Maybe sway from side to side. I like to think of this like a little elephant trunk going from side to side here. Inhale, flat back. Hands on shins or to the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Bring your hands to the mat. Step back into high plank. Knees come down. Chest comes down. Chin comes down. Hello, Brooke. You need to shuffle myself back. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders here and plant the tops of your feet down into the mat. Inhale, bring yourself up into baby cobra. Maybe lifting the hands. See if we can bring ourselves up without leveraging ourselves with our hands. Exhale to come down. Inhale, bring your hands behind you into locust. Our palms are facing down. As you inhale, lift yourself up. Lift what will lift. Maybe your thumbs come up towards the ceiling and stretch your shoulder blades in towards each other. Just looking slightly ahead here. Can you come up a little bit more as you inhale? And then exhale. Bring our hands underneath our shoulders now. Coming back into tabletop. Maybe rinsing out that because cobra and locust can have a little bit of pressure on our back. And then when you're ready, we'll tuck our toes, lift our knees, lift our hips, and come into downward dog. Taking your time here, just all the little fidgets that we like to do in our down dog. You might be bending one leg and then the next. You might be shaking your head yes and no. Just in a moment, we'll find stillness and take one breath in and a breath out. Lifting your left leg to the sky now, three-legged dog, inhale. And then bend your knee and open your hips. We're bringing our foot towards our bottom here. And see if we can square off around the shoulders. You might like to draw some circles around with your knee. And then inhale up, three-legged dog once again. Inner seam of your thighs pulling up. Exhale, bring that foot forward to the front of the mat. Lower that back knee. Inhaling up for Anjali-asana, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, bring your right arm forward and left hand back. We've got a 45-degree angle of our torso here. And then keeping our arms in that position, lifting our torso up, and we'll feel that our left fingertips are coming down towards the ground and our right fingertips are up. We're leaning across to the side from here. Side bend, feeling that stretch on this side of our body. Take another breath here. When your arms open into a warrior two position, your left hand is forward and right arm comes back. Looking over those fingertips. And then we'll lift our palms up to the sky. See if you can feel as though your shoulder blades are coming in a little bit more. And then flip your palms. See if that's made any difference. As we exhale, we're going to rotate our body to the left. Our right hand comes down, left is up, open twist. Take a breath here, in and out. Exhale, bring your hands into a fingertip lunge. Chest peels forward as you exhale. And then as you inhale, tuck our toes and lift that back leg. Hips come up. We're kind of in a pyramid shape here, straight-ish legs. And the back of our heel is off the ground. Exhale, come forward, chest comes forward. We're bending in that front knee, and then inhale, just suck our hips up to the sky in a kind of like a pyramid shape. Exhale, come forward into your lunge, and then inhale back. From here, it's our big move into standing split. So we're going to start to bring a bit of a bend into this front leg. Position your hands in front of your foot, either side of your foot. So you're kind of like making the shape of an upside down triangle. Start to bring the weight into your front foot. Maybe you're lifting that back leg back and forth. And then when you're ready, you'll lift that back leg up. Maybe you're bringing one of your hands behind your calf. And as much as is physically possible, we're trying to bring our head towards our knee or our shin and our foot up to the sky. If you're like me, your leg's not going all the way up like it can look in those Instagram photos, but we're trying the best we can. Exhale, let's bring both feet to the front of the mat and really let something go in our forward fold. Hands come down to the mat, step back into your high plank. Hold in your high plank for a breath in, puffing up between the shoulder blades for a breath out. Bending the knees slightly and then parking the hips up to the sky for downward dog. Take a little moment here, a breath in and a breath out. Bring your feet together into the center of the mat so your inner ankles are touching. Right leg rises, three-legged dog, inner seam of your thigh lifts to the sky. And then bend your right knee, send it up to the ceiling. We want to try and get our right hip over our left hip here while keeping our shoulders square. Take another breath here. And then inhale, left leg, right leg rises, three-legged dog. And then as you exhale, bring that foot straight through. Coming into a fingertip lunge here. So option here is to bring that back knee down and take this sequence on your knee in that lunge position. Or coming up now, inhaling, coming up into your high crescent lunge. As you exhale, bring your left hand forward and right hand back. We're coming over our front side as 45-degree angle and see if we can really keep strength in that back leg while a big bend in this front foot. Keeping our arms where they are, just lifting our torso up. So our left hand's coming to the ceiling, our right hand's coming down. And while we're here, see if we can gesture our right fingertips down to the ground a little bit more and stretch your left fingertips over to the right of the room for a generous side bend down the side of your body. Take another breath here, in and out. And then pivot on the back foot. Coming into warrior two, windmill the arms open, your right arms forward, you're looking over your fingertips. Deep bend in the front leg. And again, we might like to flip our palms, feel our shoulder blades coming in together, and then bring them back down, just flipping the palms downwards. Tucking the back toes and positioning your toes to the front of the room again, opening up to the right, bring our left hand down, coming into an open twist. So left hand's down, right hand's up, and we're disappearing this back knee once again to bring real strength into our leg. Take another breath here, in and stay for the exhale. Slowly bring your hands together at the front of the mat to frame that front foot, coming into a fingertip lunge. Exhale, bring yourself forward, chest coming forward into your lunge. And then as you inhale, we're coming into that pyramid shape again. So you might like to bring that back foot in slightly. And we're looking for straight-ish legs here as much as possible. Head is loose. We're not straightening our head. We're just looking towards our back toes here. And see if you can feel as though from the base of our feet, we're sucking up energy and really sucking up towards our hips here for one more breath. Now start to bend into our right knee now. We're coming into standing split. So we'll start to bring our hands in front of our foot at that sort of triangle shape. Weight comes into the right foot, lifting our left foot into the air. And again, we're not going to look like these Instagram pictures potentially where this top leg is straight up in the air. We're just doing what we can, lifting our heel as high as it will go and our head towards the mat. Take another breath here. Really see if you can stretch up. And then as you exhale, bring that lifted foot to the front of the mat for a forward fold. Probably really want to let something go here. Maybe let some go up enough. Inhaling into flat back. And now let's prepare for chair. So start to bring a really generous bend into our knees here. I want to have that feeling that our bottom is in line with our knees. Start to lift your torso up. Maybe create a little bit more space around your arms here. Take another breath in. Can you come down a little bit lower as you exhale? And then we'll sweep our arms back into aeroplane chair. Shoulder blades coming together. A slight chunk of the chin here. Inhale, bring your hands forward and up. And we'll bring our right leg up into stork pose. So it's like our right foot standing on a step here. Our knees in line with our hip. Stay here for an inhale. And as we exhale, we'll bring our right foot onto our knee here for figure 4. Hands can come to chest. And if we'd like a little bit of an extra challenge, we can come down into figure 4 chair. So starting to bring our bottom down, we're bending. So it's like chair on one side and the figure 4 on the other. See if we can straighten our back a little. Stay for one more breath in. And then hands coming up, coming back into your stork pose. As we exhale, we're going to gesture our chest forward, while at the same time bringing your right leg back. Your toes are going to come to the back of the mat, tucked. I'm going to land in an airplane lunge. So our fingertips are towards the back of the room with our palms facing down. See if you can really feel a strong back leg here and a equally strong front leg. A little bit of a tuck at the chin. Take one more breath in and out. And then inhaling up into high crescent lunge. Exhale back into your arrow. And inhale back into your high crescent. One more time to go back into your arrow lunge. And one more time back into your crescent. Stepping to the front of the mat, hands to heart center, Tadasana. Take a little moment here before we move to the other side, maybe closing down your eyes, maybe hands over chest. Breathing in and breathing out. Wonderful. Now let's take the other side. Inhale, arms up, looking up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to lift halfway. Hands down in front of you with our shoulders directly over our wrists. And then step one foot back to the back of the mat, toes tucked, and the other. We're in a high lunge here. Take a breath in here and a breath out. Dip the knees slightly. Send your hips back and up, coming into downward dog. Standing here for a breath in and a breath out. We'll bring our feet to meet together, our inner ankles touching. Your left leg rises, 3-legged dog, send it high. And then as you exhale, we'll bend that knee up to the sky. Still trying to square off with our shoulders here. Can we bring our left hip a little bit more over the top of our right hip? Inhale, come back into 3-legged dog, send your heel high. And then exhale, bring that foot straight through. We're coming into a fingertip lunge. Again, option to bring that back knee down if you prefer. Finding some stability here so we can raise ourselves up into high crescent lunge. And then bringing our left hand back And a right hand forward. We're hinging forward slightly at a 45-degree angle. Still clenching the glutes at the back to have that straight, strong back leg. And then lifting our torso up. Our left hand is going to come towards the mat here, while our right hand gestures to the left side of the room. Feel that stretch in the left side of our body. Take a breath here in and a breath out. Opening up into warrior two. Pivot on that back leg, windmill the arms open, left hand's forward, and we're gazing over that front middle finger here. See if we can feel an evenness around our shoulders. Maybe flipping our palms up. See if you can feel that. Bring your shoulder blades in together when you do that. And then keeping your shoulder blades without, just flip your palms back down. Notice if we're losing that front lunge. And then right hand comes down on the inside of your left foot here, and our back toes are facing the front of the room. We're peeling open to the left of the room now, so an open twist. Maybe not putting so much weight on that right hand, looking up. And then as you exhale, hands to frame that front foot. Coming into pyramid from here. We might like to step this back leg in just a little bit, so your foot might come in one footprint in, and straight-ish legs here. Gentle gaze at your back toes. See if you can really bring your belly button into spine. One more breath here in and out. Can feel intense, this pose. Bend into the left leg now, preparing for our standing splits. Hands coming out in front. And then start to feel buoyant on your back leg. Lift a little bit. All the way now, lifting that right leg up to the sky. As high as it will go. It is a real negotiation. See if you can bring your belly into your spine a little bit more, and see if that helps to bring that heel up. One more breath here. Exhale, let's come into a forward fold. Really let something go again. Inhale to this tough way. We'll come all the way up and full coming into chair this time, just to let our back have a little bit of a rest and stretch. Inhaling up. You might like to bring your palms up to meet at the top, and maybe a little bit of a back bend here. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now let's come into chair. Feet can be hip, 2 fist distance apart if you like. That might feel more comfortable to you, or you can bring your heels in together. It's really a matter of preference. Let's all start to bring a generous bend and bring our bottom down like someone's trying to bring a chair away from us. Can we bend our hips back a little bit more? Slight tuck of the chin here. Little baby double chin is welcome. Exhale, come a little bit deeper. And then inhale, bring your arms back. So our palms are down. We're in an aeroplane chair. This time, bring the weight into our right leg and come up into stalk. Up with our left foot. And then we'll bring our left ankle to our right knee for figure 4. Exhale, coming down into chair is an option. Or you can stay there just finding that stability in just a figure 4 standing. Inhale, let's come back up into stalk. Wobbles are welcome. And then exhale, start to bring your chest forward parallel to the mat while your back foot is getting tucked. Your back toes are getting tucked to the back. We're coming to an aeroplane lunge here. Strong lunge in this front leg and a really strong back leg. Fingertips are back behind us, shoulder blades in. Inhale, coming up into high present lunge. Exhale, back into aero lunge. Inhale, come up. And exhale, float back into aero lunge, really feeling the strength. Inhale, come up one more time. And then step into the front of the mat. Exhale. Again, let's take a little beat here in mountain. Opening up around your collarbones by bringing your shoulder blades in. Hands can come to heart. And then we'll make our way down Now, rolling yourself down to lay down on your back. Oh, maybe it feels just intuitive straight away to hug your knees in towards your chest. Let's take hands to opposite knee. Just draw circles with your hands. It's giving your lower back a massage, maybe taking the circles the other way. I kind of think of this like little joysticks for massaging your back. Just you know which way to move your hips and your hip joints. When you're ready, we can bring our feet flat to the ground with your knees bent. Take your right ankle into your left knee now. Option to bring your hands through that little window, and you can bring your hands around the front shin or your left thigh. See if you can have the feeling of bringing your left knee in towards you while at the same time broadening the outside of your knee away from you. Take another breath here in and stay for the exhale. If you lifted your left foot, just bring that back to the ground again and lift up your bottom and send it just a little over to the right. We're going to send our knees over to the left. Now you can keep the figure 4 shape if that suits you. Arms can be out like a T shape, or maybe you bring your right arm out at a diagonal here for a bit of an extra stretch, and you take your left hand onto your right hip and just peel it forward just a little bit more towards you for an extra supine twist here. Relaxing with an inhale and an exhale. Unfurl yourself and bring both of your feet back to the mat again. Bring our feet flat on the mat, and this time taking your left ankle to your right knee. Option again to bring your hands around that window, around the front of your shin or thigh. And again, just sensing whether you can draw your right knee in towards you a little bit more, while at the same time sending the outside part of your knee to away from you. Stay for another breath and soften around the jaw and the face. We'll land that right foot down if that was up. Shuffle our bottom across to the left just a little, and then send your legs over to the right. Options, take those arms in that direction again, either at a T shape, or maybe you're bringing your left arm out at a diagonal and your right hand onto your hip, drawing it forward towards you. One more breath here, in and out. And we're starting to bring ourselves, unwinding our legs first, and then bringing our feet flat on the mat, maybe lifting your bottom off the mat and then neutralizing your spine, just laying flat for a little moment. Let's knock our knees in and bring our feet wide on the mat. Construct your rest. From here, we're going to take waterfall. Sometimes in class we use a bolster, but because we're at home, I'm going to take 2 pillows here. 2 pillows will be the right height. Just find what feels good. I've kind of got this kind of height, it's a double sort of pillow here. And we'll bring our bottom to the very edge. And this idea, so I had to sort of tuck that in, and the idea here is that it's just a wedge between your bottom and hips here, just to help to effortlessly send your hips towards the sky. So we're in an easy waterfall position. Maybe your legs come wide or together. If you feel like any other types of inversion here, like happy baby or a shoulder stand, please do so, or take any moves that will feel good. We're really just starting to wind down now. See if you can start to really slow down the breath. and start to signal to the body that it's time for some restoration. You can close down your eyes and just start to feel comfortable in some stillness and silence. Let's take 3 rounds of breath here, maybe taking one hand to heart and one to your belly. And slowly we can bring our legs down from whichever inversion you chose. Take your pillows or blankets out from underneath your bottom. And then let's get ready for the next part. You can pause the video now if you'd like to start to get into your cozy socks. Make sure that you have pillows nearby. We're going to need a large pillow. I'm rating the couch, as I said. So just take your blankets, eye pillows, socks, whatever you like, and we'll meet back again. So array to the couch. Our first pose is going to be reclined butterfly. So I've got a large pillow or cushion, really, that's from the back of our couch. I'm going to use 2 other pillows as something that can help to bring this up as right. Now, that's not going to be high enough, so let's try another pillow here. Of course, if you have a bolster and blocks, then you can use one block upright and then another one down, so they make an L shape, and you can just lean your bolster up like a round. So you might like to get your eye pillow ready, and perhaps you'll bring a blanket that can come underneath your knees. So we'll bring our bottom up to the end of your couch pillow or your bolster, and the soles of my feet are together. If you get here and you're sort of feeling like it's too tight around the hips today, then please feel free to bring your legs out. I'll show you that option in just a moment. So just having a little test here to bring the feet together, further away from your crutch or closer together, and then just leaning back. If you have lots of pillows around, you might like to bring one pillow in on either side so that can feel really nice and supportive. It's recommended that we have our wrist higher than our elbow, so that might feel good to have your wrist up here, leaning against, and your elbow just effortlessly coming down. Shoulders are really relaxed here. If it's not suiting you to have your hips and groin open in this position, then you can bring some pillows underneath the backs of your thighs. You want to look for something that's not too wide, because it's better to have it right underneath your thighs. So I've chosen these ones rather than these big pillows. So tuck these underneath the backs of your knees. And even if you're on a bit of extra luxury, you might put a pillow underneath the backs of your ankles. Why not? And you can come back down. So just taking the option that suits you in this pose. We'll be here for a little while, maybe about 8 minutes. Easing your way in, making any last minute adjustments, taking your eye pillow, and knowing that you can take this position anytime during the holidays. It doesn't take that long to set yourselves up. Really starting to tune into your breath here. Noticing if you can slow the breath. Noticing the container that is your body. Seeing if you can send the breath to every little nook and cranny in your body. And in doing so, attempting an effortless version of this. So we're not really trying to struggle to bring the breath into every part. We're slowly inhaling and seeing if we can just ever so effortlessly send the breath all the way down to your tippy toes and fingertips. See if you can tune into the sounds around you. You may be able to hear my dog snoring, your cat purring. Maybe there's lawnmowers or traffic outside or birds. Spending some moments to notice the sounds around you. Perhaps you're closing down your eyes. Maybe you can even hear the sound of your breath. Seeing the feeling of different textures on your skin. Feeling of your clothes and the feeling of the cushions and the blankets you may have chosen. Just noticing any sensations in the body. If there's anywhere that you can just soften. Right here, you are held by the props. If you can let the tension in your body go just a little bit more. Any tension around your forehead, can you make your forehead feel more spacious so you can melt the tension away? And can you soften around your eyes, your cheeks, and let your jaw drop? Let the tongue rest in your mouth. See if you can feel as though someone has taken a heavy backpack off your shoulders and suddenly they release. Feel spaciousness across your chest. Settle here in silence now for 3 minutes. Coming inside the middle of your skull, softening everything, letting go into this stillness now. Deciding now if you would like to stay just where you are, or whether you would like to slowly bring yourself up. And we will move into the next pose, which is legs up the bolster. So slowly bring your hands in front and just maybe stay halfway for the moment. And then you can bring yourself all the way up. You can probably keep your arrangement here just how it is. You might like to bring a small pillow for underneath the head, or perhaps a little blanket for underneath your head. I'm going to take the blanket that I had underneath my hips and knees and bring it here for an option for underneath my head. So now come to face your bolster or your big large couch cushion and start to face it. Bring your bottom right up against your pillow or your bolster, and then just see if you can position your blanket so it'll be able to come right underneath your head. I'm going to roll mine slightly so that I can just bring some support to the curve of my neck. This is a nice soft blanket, so it's allowing for that, and my shoulders are sort of just wiggling in. See how your legs are feeling up in the air. Sometimes you can have really agitated legs, so if so, then you could bring your legs down, and I can show you another option in just a moment. For those who are really enjoying having their legs up, you might hook one foot over the other. Maybe you're bringing your hands out to the side, and again, you should bring some little extra bits in. You could even bring a little pillow underneath the top of your wrist here, just so your wrist is higher than your elbow, but all of these little extras aren't necessary. They just might be nice. For those who are settled here, just taking a deep breath, and I'll show another option for anyone who's having agitated legs. Simply bringing these inner pillows, and this is going to be where the backs of your thighs go, and you can bring your ankles to rest on it there. So this is the other option for anyone who's feeling agitated with their legs up the ball. So you can bring either a bolster or two pillows underneath the backs of your thighs. See if you can bring a folded up blanket. You can roll the folded up blanket, and you want to have it supporting the part of your Achilles heel mainly. And then you can bring yourself down. Whichever option you've chosen, just see if you can land here once again. Keeping everything quiet. Giving yourself these moments just to really settle in once again. Hopefully your eyes are closing down. If that's comfortable for you, and you're just starting to come into your inner world. Taking any fidgets that you need to find that absolute comfort. If you're new to restorative, you might not be familiar with this idea of just letting everything surrender into the pillows and the mat and the blankets, what we call props. This idea that the props are here to support us. The props are the active helpers, and we are just being passive, effortless, and supported by the props. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Effortlessly supported. Again, just seeing if you can arrive in quiet and stillness. Allowing yourself to withdraw, to come within, like a turtle that brings its legs and its head and its tail inside the shell, just coming right inside of you. Can you feel as though you're dissolving around the edges? You can feel alive on the inside and really quiet on the outside. Your back is feeling heavy on the mat. Feel as though the back of your body is spreading out, easing out. You might feel a slight tingle or sensation down your legs. And see if you can take any expression that you're holding on your face and just let it go. It means that our jaw gets heavy and our eyes just relax. Your whole body and your mind withdrawing. Directing our energy inside. Saying no for now to any external requirements of us. And just coming within and withdrawing. I'd like to read to you a piece called Withdrawal. And you can just let my words be a backdrop for you right now. Withdrawal by David Whyte. Withdrawal can be a very positive way of stepping forward, and done well, a beautiful freeing act of mercy, and as a human behavioral art form underestimated in this time of action and engagement. So much of what we're involved with, even in the highest cause, becomes involvement at the busy periphery, where the central conversation has been lost to the outer edges of what was, to begin with, a very simple invitation. Withdrawal is often not what it looks like, a disappearance. No, to withdraw from entanglement can be to appear again in the world in a very real way and begin the process of renewing the primary, essential invitation again. Though life does seem determined to be a beautiful and entrancing distraction, just as we ourselves are a distraction to others, testing them as we test ourselves and our mutual sincerity. Our participation in this dance of distraction also makes real and more necessary our ability to return to essential ground, to an essential person, or an essential work. We stick to the wrong thing quite often, not because it will come to fruition by further effort, but because we cannot let go of the way we've decided to tell the story, and we become further enmeshed even by trying to make sense of what entraps us. When what we need is a simple, clean, breaking way to remove ourselves entirely and absolutely, abruptly, and at times uncompromisingly is often the real and radically courageous break for freedom. So many beautiful, true lines in this piece. We stick to the wrong thing quite often, not because it will come to fruition by further effort, but because we cannot let go of the way we've decided to tell the story. To remove ourselves entirely and absolutely, abruptly, and at times uncompromisingly is often the real and radically courageous break for freedom. You might notice how this lands for you. I see it as a gentle permission, invitation to be able to withdraw and to notice the benefits of when it is okay to tuck ourselves away, just at times like this. In a few moments, I'll offer us a new pose, but if you're really enjoying staying just as you are, then please do. If you did have your legs still up the cushions, you could bring one foot down and then the next, and just maybe swaying your legs from side to side with your knees bent. You could just bring your bottom back a little bit more away from your pillows here, just coming back, bringing your knees in one direction and the other, like they're windscreen wiping. You can bring one leg over to the other side now and come to one side. Stay there for a little while. Take a few breaths here. Take yourself in. And just give yourself a little moment here before we start to rise up to a seat. So you can bring your one hand down to the mat. Use that to leverage yourself up. See if you can keep your chin tucked and come up more with the shoulders than the head. Head can be the last thing that can come up. Okay, so let's get ourselves prepared for supported child's pose. You can keep your pillow arrangement as we had it for our last two poses. there'll be a few items that you might like. You might like to have a blanket that can come underneath your knees and the bottoms of your feet. I do recommend keeping a blanket that's going to come over your back. So you have that handy. Can also feel nice if you have flat enough pillows to have that underneath your knees. So I'm going to try that now. So just bringing a flat-ish pillow that can come underneath my knees and my blanket that's nearby. So just come to face the bolster, or not the bolster, you might have a bolster, probably your couch pillow or whatever we've got here. So you'll come to bring your knees wide and you'll be sitting on your heels for this moment. And then just lean forward. See how this feels for your back. You'd want to have your back that's feeling as though it doesn't have any tension here. For me here, I feel as though perhaps I could either bring a pillow underneath my tummy, and that's going to help my back feel, that feels nice. And maybe my hands can come underneath here and hug around. You could play around here with taking a different height. So you could take one pillow away, and without sort of getting yourself out of this relaxing mode, just feel around a little bit. The last little piece to this is to bring a blanket around your shoulders. And then if you like, you can bring it around all the way around your head, which is called disappearing from the world. So start to lower yourself down, hugging your pillow or your bolster and bring the blanket around your shoulders. And then you might like to take disappearing from the world, which is flipping the blanket over your head. And flipping the blanket over your head can really drift you into your own world. You can start to feel as though you are removing all the distractions. And once again, it is a withdrawal, a drawing in, and a time for you just to take some rest. Notice how it feels to have your belly just softening and relaxing into the pillow, the bolster. Feeling an openness across your back. Breathing into the back of your ribs, side of your ribs. And bring your attention to the center of the body, just behind your belly button. See if you can pacify the belly. And once again, let the expression on your face just drop away. Powering down. Allowing yourself to sink into rest. I will leave you in silence for a few minutes. Enjoy the quiet and the stillness. For the final moments. You might like to stay in child's pose for a little longer, please feel free to do so. If you would like to, you can bring yourself up just slowly, maybe even bring yourself up halfway and then sitting all the way up. And we're going to take a side bend over in this case, a couch cushion. You can bring it in the middle of your mat and it's going to be widthwise across your mat. Just try first by bringing yourself to your hips to one side of either a bolster or stacked up blankets or a big couch pillow like me. Hug it in towards you and then just come to lean yourself over. So even though you might be able to see here, my hips aren't touching the ground. And as I come down, neither will the under part of my shoulder or like the top part of my shoulder. Might feel nice here for me to bring a pillow, 2 pillows here. And this, sometimes it might just feel nice just to rest either forward or even up over you. It can take a little moment just to find the right height of the prop that you've got underneath you. This was the exact height for me. Sometimes you might need a little bit more lift, bringing another blanket underneath. You can also bring a blanket between your knees if that's going to feel a lot more comfortable. And just now see if you can ease into the pose. You'll feel, if you're feeling too much of a stretch across the shoulder, then please just either bring your hand on top of your thigh here or on top of the pillow. It does feel nice, so feel that stretch in the top part of your body, whichever side is opened up to the sky will feel really open. Again, just let yourself settle and arrive in the pose. You're taking any last minute fidgets to make sure that it's exactly right for you. And by exactly right, I mean that it can bring across this sense of feel expansion and openings, the top ribs facing the ceiling. Just enjoy the breath that can be brought into the back of the ribs here, the top and the side of the ribs. Almost like we're recharging and drawing in some more energy. See if we can soften around the jaw, soften around your forehead. And notice that you are held by the props. They are doing the work here for you. So see if you are holding yourself up at all. See if you can just sink in. We're sinking in to rest and we're withdrawing. Bring everything in to center. You might be in the mood for a contemplation part of our practice now. You might like to think about where your effort and your energy is best directed so that it can feel more nurturing for you. And what do you want to fill your time with? And what do you notice that might be a leak of your energy. You might visualize now something pouring into your body, which is the good things, the good, in inverted commas, good, the good ways to spend your time, the people who you really enjoy to spend time with, pouring into your body. Bringing you lightness, contentment. And then imagining that we could turn a tap, like those taps at the bottom of eskies that just let the old melted ice out. Let all those things that just drain our energy go. And what are they? What are these things that tend to zap and leak out, leach out our time even? Be like just letting these thoughts circle around in your head, and not to be harsh on yourself by any means, but just to work out any ways that you can eliminate what's zapping your energy and elevate what brings you more vitality. In moments, I'm going to offer us to slowly change sides. If this happens to be your favorite side, maybe the side that you like to sleep in bed, please feel free to stay here a little longer. If you'd like to move to the other side, you can just simply come onto your tummy for a little while, and maybe we can take a little pit stop here in restorative speaks. If that's comfortable for your lower back, you can start to bring your elbows in towards your pillow or your bolster. Stretch your feet, your legs out long. Just look forward for a little while. See if this can give you a little bit of a massage around the tummy. If you're feeling any tension in your lower back, then perhaps you'd like to come into child's pose for a few more moments. You could even lay your head onto the bolster there, or your couch cushion. This could feel really nice too. So just seeing what feels best for you. And see if we can slightly tuck our chin in so that we're feeling no pressure on our neck and everything can relax down. You'll have a gentle gaze down towards the mat. It feels as though your shoulders are kind of hunching in, but that's okay because we're really trying to relax into this. So you're closing down your eyes again. Imagine this is being a massage around your tummy. Feeling as you inhale, your tummy pressing against your prop, and then as you exhale, it's just softening back in, pacifying around the belly and letting your belly have nothing much to do here. Seeing if we can bring the breath more into the ribs, just gently, side of the ribs. Effortless here. Not asking us to do more, just asking us to slowly, slowly explore the breath. Feel nice to bring your toes in, kind of like the pigeon-toed here. That might give you a little bit more space around the back. Just play around with the position, or maybe it might feel nice to tuck your toes. Giving these options if there's any tension around the back, and seeing what we can do to ease that. Let's stay here for 3 more breaths. And simply take yourself to the other side so you can come to sit again. With your hip against the bolster, turning to the opposite direction. Just so you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to move myself to the other side. Once again, we can bring some little pillows or perhaps a folded up blanket that you can use as a little pillow on the top of your arm. We'll start to bring our legs in towards whatever you've chosen to lean over, and then just arch yourself over, bend yourself over. So again, the top of my shoulder or the top of my hip is not touching the mat. It's elevated by the prop that I'm using, and I've got the pillows on top of my bicep here, settling in. Again, your shoulder might be different on this side. You might even just like to hang it in the air for a little while. Just scanning the body and seeing how you could feel more comfortable. Maybe you want to bring a blanket in between your knees. You're also welcome to stretch out both your legs. Maybe your top leg comes forward and your bottom leg comes out to the other side. I personally find it feeling a little bit more comfortable today to bring my knees bent in and perhaps a blanket in between my knees. Upper arm can come up and over and touch the bottom palm if you like. Maybe you'd like to take your hand underneath your face. Once again, just settling into the pose. Seeing where you can breathe more room into the body. Spaciousness. Can you imagine that with each inhale you are creating more space around your ribs, back of ribs, side of ribs, front of ribs. And with every exhale, you're letting go what's not needed any longer. With every exhale, maybe imagine that you are letting go of any of these obligations that you've said yes to. So to rest in stillness and withdraw into silence for a few more minutes. Close if you are choosing to move into the next position. You can begin to take some expansive breaths into the sides and backs of your ribs. Letting out a slow, long exhale. Just gently filling up this top facing part of your ribs. Just gently easing out the breath, maybe even pursing your lips, letting something go. Take one more breath, just like that. And we will take a final pose of Shavasana. You can bring yourself down onto the mat, taking away any pillows that are on your mat. One option here is to lay down flat on your back on the mat and bring a bolster underneath the backs of your knees. I am going to offer a forward-facing Shavasana. I've got this long couch pillow, or you could be using a bolster if you have one at home. I've got a low pillow here that I'm going to use for the tops of my feet. I'm going to lay face forward, and then I've worked out that these two pillows are the right height to have this top part of my forehead leaning against. I'm going to get the blanket around the tops of my shoulders. I'm going to come to bring my knees in front, and then you just lay down onto your pillow or your bolster and just see if this feels right for you. Moving your head. So we really want to have the back of our head in line with our back. So we don't want our head leaning up because we've got too much of pillows or blankets underneath the head, or our head sort of dropping down. It's nice to have that, feel that, just so that extension of the spine. Bring your arms out and cactus if that just maybe your elbows are just coming out to the side, and see how I just have a pillow, or you could bring a blanket just underneath the tops of your feet. So if that doesn't suit you, then please just come down to lay flat on your back, and you might like to bring a pillow underneath your knees. Let's all just settle in for this last part of our practice. Let's now really move ourselves into rest. Maybe you've got a doggy coming up to you and wanting some attention, just like me. You can pat them on the side as you rest into your pose. Wherever you are, just starting to make any last minute adjustments to come into pure comfort. And again, completely withdrawing, coming completely inside. Shavasana is known to be feeling alive on the inside and dead on the outside. Let the external world just melt away. To settle into this final posture, you might like to take a deep breath in, a long, slow exhale. 2 more just like that. Breathing in, gently filling up every nook and cranny of the body. Slowly exhaling, letting everything go. One more time, just like that. And with that final long exhale, feel yourself melting into the mat or props. Notice where you can soften. Notice where you may be unintentionally holding tension. You just gently direct the breath there. Seeing if you can soften just a little more. And right now, you have nowhere you need to be, nowhere you need to go. Most importantly, no one you need to become. And draw your attention behind your eyes to the center of your skull. If you have time, please stay exactly where you are in this position of rest for as long as you can. If you would like to join me in a seat, then you can slowly roll yourself up. Maybe you keep your eyes closed or keep a fuzzy gaze in front. Taking your time, eliminating any need for rush. When you're ready, you can start to cross your arms and give yourself a hug. Sway yourself from side to side and thank yourself for opening up your body and giving yourself some time to recharge. Bring your hands together at heart center and float out, thumbs up to the middle of our forehead, third eye. Bow your chin in towards yourself. And capture anything that you'd like to keep from this practice. Slowly bring your hands down to your heart space. Bring your thumbs in to feel your beating heart. And from my big heart to your big heart, namaste. Thank you so much for joining, everybody.